All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 25 of Take Up Space. I cannot believe it's been 25 episodes, Joy. Like,
It's crazy that it's been this much. Like
it's
I'm,
been 25.
I'm so excited that we've reached 25.
I know. Me
It's
too.
real.
We're good. We're good.
Yes, we are good.
Awesome. Okay. Well, today's episode, you guys, we have a very special guest with us. But as first, we want to make sure that you all understand that this is our space to take up. So while Joy and I are the host, we do welcome your commentary in the comments, and we want to engage with you. So please, take up space with us.
I'm
And with that, Joy, do you have any announcements for the people?
I mean, happy spring, springtime. The first day of spring.
Yes.
So that's why we got our spring colors on.
Mm-hmm.
Giving the vibes. Outside of that, I guess we can go ahead and get on into the episode.
All right. Well, then let's do it. Let's let loose. And before we do that, though, we are honored to have a guest joining us this evening. She is a friend, of both personal and professional. She is the co founder of It Takes a Village Collaborative, a nonprofit organization with a mission to cultivate thriving Black communities that focus on a holistic approach to wellness. And that means the whole person, okay, mind, body, and spirit. And so I am so honored to welcome to take up space this evening, Miss Shoa Philpotts. Hey,
Well,
Shoa.
Hey everyone, I'm excited to be here. I am a fan of this segment in this talk show. So
Oh,
excited to
thank
be here.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're glad for you
happy to have
too.
you.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, this is a mental, emotional, and spiritual digital space for us to share on and heal together. And so, what we love to do first is our let loose. And so, this is a moment where we just kind of exhale from the weeks we've had, or the weekends. And so we usually lift up a song or, a verse or whatever quote has been in our spirit that has like really gotten us through the last 2 weeks. And so, Joy, I'm always going to go to you first because you just do it.
Okay,
Do you have one for us?
I do have one for us. So I have been on my old school vibe. And I'm going to go with Dottie Pebbles.
Oh, okay. You're going old school,
He's
girl.
an on time God. That one has really been stuck in my head. So everybody pretty much knows this one, but he's an on time God.
We're old school.
Yes, he is. Oh, on time God. Yes, he is. Yeah, so that one is
Okay.
but that is really just speaking to me because I feel like especially during the springtime, like it's easy for us to want to stay in the previous season and like continue to be in that movement moment compared to moving forward. And we want to move forward or we want to stay put, but really understanding that like it's God's timing. God wants us to transform. God wants us to come out of this so that we can evolve into who He's called us to be. So that, gets me through work days, gets me through overwhelming days, stressful days, just remembering that He's an on-time God every single time. So yeah.
Yes. So we love that. Thank
Mhm.
you. You always bring the vocals. I love it. I have no song today, and I can't believe I don't. But I
Yeah,
don't.
quote, maybe a
I have
quote.
a quote. I think I do have a quote. But sure, do you have a song quote or anything that's been helping you let loose?
I'll definitely say I have been on a Bob Marley kick.
Mhm.
Mm,
Ever since the movie came out, I've
yeah.
always been a fan. I'm Jamaican, so but just watching the movie just put me back in the vibe of like, okay, like if I start my mornings with him, as I'm getting ready, I know it's gonna be a good day, nice, cool vibrations. So, yeah, I find myself saying, Alexa, play Bob Marley. So
Hmm.
that has been my thing for over the past 2 weeks. Yeah, because I saw the movie like 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
just been locked
Movie is
in
so
on my
good.
reggae vibe and just trying to be cool, calm, and collected as life. So yeah.
Love
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Okay. Well, I don't really have a song, so I do have a quote from I guess a new friend who has just been like texting me things in the morning, like, oh, just remember The sun shines in your corner. So that's been helping me through the last 2 weeks because it's just been sweet and like unexpected. So I've appreciated that.
We love unexpected motivation.
Yeah, so that's been helping me get through the days. All right. So with this, I should also say that this is a new time for us. We usually do our shows on Sundays, but we learn how to pivot around these parts, and so we'll probably have a lot more people watching the replay. All right. So next we have our owning it section, segment, which is where we bring our topic of the day up. And so not last week, but last episode we talked about self-forgiveness, which was really good. It was like, we need to bring it back for a
Run it back.
run it back. So we're also talking about self-forgiveness part 2 today. So Joy, I'll let you do the honor.
Owning in terms of self-forgiveness. It's like I wanted to bring this topic back, but it's so much to cover. I would say I'm owning in terms of self-forgiveness when it comes to like my creativeness of knowing that I can evolve within it. It doesn't have to just be in one specific area, because I feel like when you are a creative, it's easy for people to attach what you've been doing for so many years to your identity. And then it's easy for us to get attached to that identity. And I feel like I fell into having to appear a certain way, even though God was calling to me to evolve. And I forgive myself for that, because I'm fully embracing that I am in a different phase of my creativeness. And it may not look the same to other people, but I'm still a creative, even though I'm doing something different. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because you got to move in your own right. And so, Shoa, knowing that you are a business owner, have you had to, or have you found yourself in any like meetings or after meetings or events or conversations having to like give yourself more grace than, more grace?
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like as a entrepreneur, a nonprofit ED, I'm just learning how to own space and take up space. I have my bracelet. Anytime I wear this bracelet, I'm picking up a lot of space. I had to put it down. I was like, girl. But I think for me, it's just been giving myself grace and recognizing all that I am doing. It always seems like it's not enough, or it always seems like I'm not moving quick enough. And especially since I've taken on the role and owning the role of not just co-founder, but now executive director of my nonprofit, it is scary, right? And I even find myself having to do additional work around why I am limiting myself, or why am I being hard on myself, or why am I questioning my ability? And I think it just boils down to new territory and recognizing that there may be more work to do around self-forgiveness, right? And there may be more work to just do around understanding my worth and my power, and knowing that, what's divinely mine is mine. So in the past few weeks, months, new year, it's definitely been a theme of give yourself grace, affirm yourself, step back out of the work and see that it's moving. I think too, when you're in it, you feel like you have these goals, you have these ideas, and you don't even take an opportunity to celebrate the little things. So I'm just consistently reminding myself to give grace, to be present, and to own and take up the space that's rightfully mine as I move into this new phase within the work. So yeah.
I love that. What is divinely mine? Like, already yours.
Yeah. And I hope you are taking the moment to celebrate. I know you celebrate yourself in your personal life, but like the work that you are doing with IVEB is like amazing. Thank you. Yes, I want to give you your flowers now.
Thank you.
Yes. And you also allow other business owners, small business owners, practitioners, healers, like take up space within your organization as well. And so me being someone who has been offered or appointed the opportunity to work in your space, I do say thank you, because it's definitely helped me to take up my own space with Level Up. So I appreciate you and your sister Aisha. So
Thank you.
all the love.
Yes.
Yes. So I know we've been talking about your organization. Tell the people what It Takes a Village Collaborative is and what you all do.
Yeah, so It Takes a Village Collaborative is a holistic wellness hub for the Black community. We welcome everyone, right? But we want to have sacred and intentional spaces for Black people coming from the Black perspective, just to ensure that we are empowered in our health, because at the end of the day, health is wealth. So we have programs and experiences for women, men, and children now. We started out with Black women initially, because we are Black women, and we're like, we got to figure us out first before we try to continue to help everyone else. So through that, we recognized that our community was lacking wellness, just like holistically, mind, body, and spirit. So we started out creating monthly experiences with Black women of color, to just discuss what it is that we needed, and to really dig into those taboo topics. So our approach within ITAB, and what you'll experience in any of our programs, is self-care beyond the surface. Everybody wants to talk about self-care, nails, hair, massages, the cute stuff. But we're talking about that intentional stuff. Like, how do you develop a level of self-awareness where you're able to accept the things you can't change, or accept the things that you've been avoiding, and then move into that change and that lifestyle that's going to allow you to live healthy all the way around. So we do that through offering free experiences throughout the year, pulling in culturally competent practitioners. Lauren has been one of them, has come in as a therapist, doing some work with us around mental menus, and just understanding, like, what is it that you need and how to center yourself and your voice. We pull in healers, Reiki masters, shamans. We pull in yoga instructors, meditation coaches, so life coaches. You run the gamut. We're exposing people to Black practitioners that can support them in their healing journey, and not healing just to say I'm healing, but healing like real deep work. I'm healing. So that's the work we do at ITAB. And we don't throw nobody in the fire real quick. You could dip your toes in the monthly events, and then we have a retreat that's a little deeper. But we're doing this work. We're doing the real work, and anyone that comes into the space, they're welcomed into a very open and loving community, and their voice is heard, and they're allowed to take up space, because we use the circle process, which allows that. So
yes,
this is beautiful. I was on your website earlier and just really looking at the impact it's one thing to be an entrepreneur, but to also put together and curate events that continuously pour into people on a regular basis. Shout out to you all, because y'all calendar is packed. Okay. Y'all been going continuously, and it just speaks to what you were saying. Like, you want to have the take up space not just be something that people are doing, but it's actually something that's being implemented within their lives, and for people to look forward to. So like the retreat that you all have coming up, I'm sure is something that really motivates people just to keep going, and like to push forward, where it's another energizer for them when they get to it. So congratulations for all the work.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Y'all make me feel good.
It's amazing. Joy, you should come to the retreat this year.
Yes, come to the retreat. Come to the events. I'll do some shameless plugs at the end, but like, come to the events throughout the year. It's really a build up, and it's really just you checking in with yourself and being like, okay, I'm on track, or okay, I need to kind of recalibrate, or damn, I need some support. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing, but
right.
So,
and can you talk a little bit more about the new offering you all have for men now?
Yes. So King's Roar is something that we have wanted to do since day one. But again, we were like, we got to put the mask on first.
Right.
We can't keep holding space for our men without holding the appropriate space for ourselves, because that enables them. Yes. We're coddling them. We're not trying to do that. So we spent, 3 years just really building the women's space. And then from there, we found the right facilitator to come in and own the men's space, because we also wanted to give the blueprint, but not really facilitate or create that space. We really want men to do it for themselves, right? We give y'all the tools and y'all figure it out the same way the women did. So that is what the men's space looked like last year. And through the experiences, we hosted 4 experiences for men. Again, the men loved it. I got feedback directly like, oh, we need this. Black men don't have an opportunity to just be seen as human beings. Our feelings are often not honored. Even in the house, we got to wear like a mask to show who we really are. So it was just like a space where men were able to be themselves wholly among other men. So we are growing that space this year, and we're doing more male events. We have 6 men events, I believe.
Great.
Or 5. We have 5 men events, 2 check-ins, which is just an opportunity for those that have already been in the space to just touch base and see how they're doing with their wellness. And then we have 3 curated events that are free and open to the public for men to begin to tap into their mind, body, and spirit. And similar to the women's spaces, we'll have male practitioners come in to talk about physical wellness, mental well-being, and spiritual well-being, and doing it through experiential learning. So that's the male space. It's a safe space for Black men, created by Black men. Again, we welcome our allies, we welcome our other brothers, but just know that like it is really designed for Black men to take up the space that they need. And if you join and you're from another demographic, just hold space for them.
Yes.
So that's what it is. And we have events running. The first one this year is actually Friday at Carolina Kitchen and High School, 6 to 8. Pop in. It's a check-in, so it'll be food, the game, and just an opportunity to chop it up with some brothers. So
I love this.
Yes, it's also intentional, and I love that even though you all are a woman-ran nonprofit, you still allow space and bring in men to run these types of check-ins and curated events, because a lot of times, as Black women, we try to do it all, take everything in, like, oh no, we can do it. We know what y'all need. And it's like, baby, you don't have to do it all. So I think I give y'all kudos for that as well, for creating that space for men by men. That's awesome.
Yeah, because at this point, I don't know what they need.
Right. It's like they got to figure it out. Put them all together, let them figure it out.
They got it. So,
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for engaging us with that. And at the end, I know you'll give us all where we can find you and your information and some of the dates that we should be looking out for. But we're going to keep it moving with some of our vibes. And so this is the point, Shoa, and thank you for engaging us in this way, where we just talk about the cultural happenings that's going on in the world, whether in wellness, faith, or just in culture, Black culture. And so, Joy is our like in residence fashion police, fashion stylist. And so, the Oscars and the NAACP Image Awards recently had. And so, Joy, you do this thing on your Instagram. I'm gonna let us let's just have a little segment with that tonight. Don't mind. Yeah.
I love being able to like look back and just see, who was out here serving looks. The most recent, because it's off the top of mind, Fantasia, hands down, gave one of the best looks for NAACP last night. It was very fitting.
Black. Did you see it, Shoa? Or
no, I'm here like, do I need to Google or go?
Okay. Let me see if I can pull up a picture and like.
Yeah, she had a white. So the top part, it was like a mermaid style dress, and the top part was white. It was a big black bow in the back, and then her bottom where it flared was black. It was beautiful. It was effortless beauty. So it was definitely one of the easier ones. Honestly, everybody that had on like white was really killing it. Kyla Pratt, I always mess it up.
Looked good.
She looked really good as well. I'm like having to go back through.
I'm gonna see if I can share my screen just a second.
My looks here.
So this was Fantasia. Can y'all see that?
I can't.
I can't see it, but I did look it up, and she did look very nice, clean, and elegant.
Oh, here it is. So this is Fantasia.
Yeah, that's Fantasia's look.
Okay, yes.
Full blown fashion police now. Now I can like
this is good. Like the body, her stylist has been on point.
Killing it. Okay. She came back with that vengeance.
It was all white, and then the black bow and the sequence really like did it because it spoke to like breaking it up. And just playing with fabrics. It's always fun to play with different fabrics. Yeah. So that was definitely a favorite for NAACP. And I'm really trying to sit here and remember from Oscars.
Coleman Domingo.
Domingo is one of the best dressed men in Hollywood.
Yes, he hands down.
One of the
Hold on.
best dressed.
Coleman Domingo. Yeah, I'm about to pull him up, y'all.
Best dressed by far.
By far.
By far. Yeah.
But no, I feel like most of the influencers showed up and showed out last night for the NAACP Image Awards. Like the big names, I don't know, they were sleeping to me.
I will also have to throw out a lovely DMV queen. Gia Peppers came through on the red carpet with her look. Okay, I'm all here for a good monochrome look. And if you follow, like, there's certain people I'm like, no, we're not about to dislike this whatsoever. So they get like a smiley face and then like a hard eyes, because we were not doing that to Miss Gia Peppers. She looked absolutely gorgeous. So I do agree with you that a lot of influencers were killing the game. And I feel like that's the perfect time for them to step out and be seen on red carpets, because everybody sees celebrities consistently all the time.
Your attention.
But yeah,
he did look good.
Yeah, he looks really good, really, really good. And then, okay, I'm gonna try to find Miss Gia Peppers. I know I'm a little lagging, but keep talking.
Gia Peppers had on the pink. Was it the pink with the Hanifa boots? Was that this year?
She wore a custom Hanifa dress.
Right. Okay.
Custom.
She wore a custom. Like I said, DMV was showing out last night. A custom Hanifa dress.
Okay. Yes, I did see this on Hanifa.
She slayed. Slayed. I'm going back through my Oscars looks now. Who was a top? Davina Joy looked really beautiful in her blue, and I'm super proud of her for winning the supporting role. She killed it.
I didn't watch anything but that she was in. But yes, girl.
I will definitely watch The Holdovers if you can. Like, it was really amazing. And then to know that she actually wore her grandmother's glasses as she was acting out. I would have been so emotional. So when Lupita was speaking to her, she said to see the eyes through your grandmother. And I was just like,
with tears.
Oh, like, just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Is The Holdovers a movie or a show or?
It's on Peacock. I would definitely please go see it if you have not.
Okay. Well, yeah, a little fashion outtake from the happenings that's been going on. Are y'all like really big on podcasts?
I'm behind. I'm honestly have not been into as many podcasts recently. But what do you have for us?
What about you, Joy? Shoa. Well, I've been watching. I mean, it just came up. Like, at work, when we just put something on instead of music, I've been putting on podcasts. And so recently I ran into Kelly Rowland on this like Love and Friendship, I think, podcast. And she was talking about empowering herself through like normalizing, conversations with like sex, or like talking about sensual pleasure with her friend groups. And she was like, it's in these conversations, because she was on there to promote Mia Culpa, of course.
That's what y'all need to talk about, is that movie.
Okay. Right. So she was just talking about like how she kind of like was free a little bit, like a piece of her womanhood. She kind of like was freed from doing that role. She's like, these are conversations that we just don't have, or I did not have. And so it's like very freeing to have those kind of conversations and like to normalize them about our pleasure. And I was like, yes, girl, because and she was like, she relearned how to like not have sex, but she relearned a lot of her like sexuality and like sensual pleasures through that role. And I was like, oh, good for you, because that's true.
Yeah, I think especially just in our community, Black women, like, sex has a stigma to it, and it's like if you're too sexual, you're seen in one way. So it's also like breaking that stigma when you own your sexuality and understand like there's a difference of owning it and being taken advantage of.
Yes,
because it's like it's a big difference. But that's very true. I mean, like, me and my friends group just linked up and we was talking about sex and stuff, and it was like, oh, we're adults now, like we're grown. They can have it right. It's like, oh, we're not going to be talking about this,
right? Like, why? No. Yeah. Joy, I'm curious, and tell me if I'm crossing the boundary.
Oh, go ahead.
Our boundaries. So, like, as a woman who's married, are these conversations that you have with like friends who also are married?
With having different sex conversations.
Yeah.
It depends on who it is. I can't say I don't go to everybody having that different conversation. I think it more so comes into intimacy. And like what that really means within marriage. But I mean, spicing things up, doing different things, like, you know, that I feel like becomes the conversation more so with married women. But intimacy definitely is a heavier conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, even you sit here and talk about sex and intimacy, they're two different things. And I feel like a lot of people associate it as the same thing, but it's very different.
It's very different.
As you get older, you really understand what intimacy looks like for you.
You do. Oh my gosh, you do.
And it change, and it's okay if it changes. Just being able to evolve and keep up to date with what that means. So,
yeah, like, and I definitely see it now being like someone who works in a school. It's like these girls be thinking everything is just so romantic. Oh, and it was so intimate. I'm like, girl, keep living. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say more. I just say keep living, sweetie. Just keep living.
Yeah.
So do you
have it's about like normalizing that with teenagers too, to understand the difference, because a lot of people can equate sex to be with intimacy and thinking like, oh, like he wants to be intimate with me, but it's like, no.
He
Like,
wants one thing.
Yeah. And I mean, men, I saw this thing from a therapist, Nidra. Are you also familiar with Nidra? And she was talking about, did y'all watch Love is Blind? I might be a little
I have not.
I have.
But I don't mind. Go ahead.
I have.
But she did a podcast and she was talking about AD and Clay and just her take on it. And she was just like, you know, women are raised to be married.
Yeah.
And with that idea and that ideology of like, this is what I'm living for, where men are just raised to live. So a lot of men don't know how to be husbands. A lot of men don't know how to show up in that space. A lot of men don't understand the difference between sex and intimacy and how important it is to a relationship. So it was just like, her point was like, we have to be willing to give him the grace that he deserves, because I think he did a good job in communicating what it was. And I think as women, we also have to take ownership and understand that we don't be listening to men. We be creating in our heads whatever they want to tell us. But I just agree with her point. Like, you know, just because AD was like ready, which she should be, didn't mean that he had to be ready. And also, like, AD had the right to also tell him, no, this is what I want. And if you can't give me that, I'm good. I'm choosing me. So I thought she had a really good point.
You bring up an amazing point, because I feel like a lot of people really have been super hard on Clay. And I think that we also have to remember it's a TV show at the end of the day. Not in the room with them when it's different thing. It's for entertainment. And it's very different, where he did sit there and say he's just not ready to do the trauma, whatever you really want to associate it with. But for him to get on national TV in general and have this whole breakdown of his family talking about, you know, what he was, for him to say the lines of, my dad took me with him to go cheat. That takes a lot. Sorry, we up here. If you didn't want to Love is Blind, I apologize.
Yeah.
It really is. It speaks to, that takes a lot of vulnerability to even do on TV. You could call him, you know, he wants to be a TV personality, whatever it may be. But you can see that there is some authenticness that is coming from that conversation because of his mother and how vulnerable she was on the TV show to put, you know, everything on Front Street with her ex-husband, like, and say like, you have to be held accountable knowing that you played a role in this. So we can't look, as you were saying, all the time when it comes to a man for being the issue or not necessarily being ready, because they both could have sat there and said yes, and then something could have ended up happening during the marriage. And then,
now I will say, if his bald-headed daddy had went in that room and affirmed him in what he was doing, Clay would have done say yes. But his dad is the problem. And then it's the conversation of like, when do you take ownership and responsibility as an adult? And I think that that's what he was doing at that point in the show. Like, I feel like the show was a culminating moment for his level of awareness of self, where he is relationally and understanding, oh, this isn't a joke. And I don't see marriage as a joke, so I'm not about to play these games.
Yeah.
Now, to AD's point, I felt like when she said, I felt like a sacrifice for you to find yourself and understand what you wanted. I felt that too, because that's often the case. So, I mean, I feel like people can learn a lot from that. And to your point, like, we can't see all that happens behind the scenes, but at the end of the day, I just feel like society really dragged him. And then now everybody want to be like, oh, he's such a stand-up guy. No, I was Team Clay from day one.
Yeah, you got to see both sides. But I think this is another example of self-forgiveness in a lot of different ways. For AD, for Clay, for his dad, for, you know, his mom. Like, they are really leading a lot of different conversations. And I feel like we sit here and talk about reality TV. There are points that you can take and pinpoint within your life. And I feel like that is the reason why we want to see reality TV, not for it to be fake and producers are putting things together just to start drama, but for it to seem real where you can relate to it. So I do appreciate moments where there is some type of
realness
to see, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for reality TV, so
yeah, I am too.
I just haven't seen Love Is Blind. I have never seen it. So from someone who is just on the outside, that y'all, not y'all, but like the viewers of Love and Blind has definitely painted Clay as a villain. So like, just being someone who has no idea of what took place on that show, it's like, oh, okay, what's wrong with this man? So I can easily see how society would gang up on him, which is not fair. So
and then it goes back to that question of self-forgiveness. Some of the reasons why people could have said what they said is because they were projecting.
Yeah.
And you know, they felt connected to AD so much because of their own unhealed pieces. And they seen Clay as a villain because he showed up as a similar villain in their own lives. So I can see both sides, but at the end of the day, like, when you really listen to what both of them were saying, they were both talking from perspectives of one was a further ahead than the next in their healing, but they were both on a healing journey. And that's probably why they were so attracted to each other, because she's like, I recognize where you are and I'm grateful that you're willing to heal. And he's like, oh, you're helping me recognize where I'm at and I need healing. So, I mean, everything happens for a reason, but that daddy,
yeah, poor child. It was rough. And I was just, when they sent him in the room, I was like, why? Because you could just tell it was not going to be good.
And Clay's relationship with his father, just, it was like you see your superhero, but you know that he
is flawed,
has an evil side to him, right? But you're not going to call him out on it. But instead, your mom gets the brunt of your pain and your anger, but you're not comfortable to say it to your dad. And that's
a reality in a lot of people's lives.
Yes. That was exactly what that was. It was crazy.
Yeah. I'm glad to see that Clay and his mom are like going to different TV shows, because it speaks to a majority of people. I think took what needed to be taken from this story, was that it was realness there. And some people have to look in the mirror and see, like, is this me? Like, in the one line I will say that really stuck out, and I feel like this could speak to a lot of people who have divorced parents, separation, whatever it may be, was when AD and Clay's mom both said, do not associate our past trauma to your present relationship, because it's not going to be good. We lived our life. We've done what we needed to do. This is your time to live your life. When I tell you that whole, like, that in itself could have just been a whole sermon, because we can sit here and talk about that in relationship from a married side, but you could also talk about that just in general when it comes to friendships, when it comes to finances, when it comes to buying property, when it comes to getting jobs, when it comes to chasing dreams, all of that. Like, when just
it comes to being Black, okay,
right? Your trauma is not mine.
I feel like for 27 years of my life, I literally carried everyone else's trauma until I had a session with an intuitive healer. And she said, you have so much blockage around your heart that has nothing to do with you, but everyone else. You have to go release that, because you're not living for yourself and you can't even experience the joys of life in what you're in, because you don't have space for your own stuff. And she was like, I'm not minimizing like your trauma or what you may have seen, but like what you're carrying is not yours. From that day forward, my life changed. And it was literally that statement of like, my sisters, my mom, my dad, my family, like what they experience and what that looked like is not mine.
It's
Not
not.
yours.
And I have to release that in order to begin to experience what is truly mine. So,
Oh, that's so true.
I just got a little emotional off of that.
Me
Just
too.
saying
Me
it.
too, because it's so real.
That is very, very real.
And a lot of us carry a lot of people's baggage that is not ours. And I know I was carrying some myself that I had to release just last year. So it's like, yeah. And I'm out here moving totally different.
okay.
Just off of one simple conversation that was had. So
That's so
y'all gonna make me go watch this show now. I don't know.
Well, I will say, let me just preface. I feel like we didn't even get enough screen time at AD and Clay to really understand their relationship. I don't even know what the season focused on, but just the moments that they did have were so real and impactful that it made you say, like, yeah, like, although it didn't end the way we wanted it to, because I know I was sitting there skipping to their wedding, like, oh, they're gonna say yes.
knew they weren't going to say yes, though.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like they weren't going. I felt like he wasn't going to for a while, but when he had the bachelor thing and when he was talking to his friends, I was like, okay, maybe. But once his dad went in that room and did not say anything that needed to be said, I said, oh, it's a dub. I felt so bad. And he kept calling her his best friend, and that was throwing me off too.
Yeah. I knew it was probably only going to be okay. Let me stop. Lauren, go ahead. Hey,
Nope, I don't have nothing to say.
go ahead and watch it. I mean, Love is definitely a really good show. It's crazy that it's been 6 seasons. Always loved it ever since Lauren and Cameron.
Yes, Team Lauren and Cameron.
They're still together, right?
They are still together, thriving. Okay, and a lot of people.
He and Brent is a good one too.
They are. A lot of people were wondering where Lauren and Cameron were for the reunion, and I remember he made a post yesterday or 2 days ago, and I think that it's not an issue with Netflix. I think that they really enjoyed their process and how genuine it was, and they see how producers are coming into the mix and forcing different things, and they just really don't want to be a part of it. But then they also said they were booked and busy for the reunion.
Okay. Let someone else do it.
Yeah, but I really love the show when that, like, couples like that come out of it. Like you really see what it means to make an emotional connection, because I feel like, as you know, growing up, we're not really looking for emotion, like an emotional connection, when we're actually getting to know someone, dating someone. That's very rare. And a lot of us are looking at looks. We're looking at how you gonna provide, how this gonna happen, how that's gonna happen, and compared to actually looking at, you know, what's inside. So that is the really one thing that I love about the show. That I cannot stand seeing them gold glasses, cups, mugs. They're selling them now at Target for $7, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I see one of these goblets again.
Yeah, it's gotten real commercialized.
Yes.
You know, and that happens too when they overproduce seasons. I feel like it's just like, I couldn't believe there was another season out already. I'm like, huh?
The next DC that's coming up.
Oh, Lord.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see who's going.
And I was like, I know. I wonder if we're gonna know anybody.
We're gonna know somebody.
Somebody.
We're gonna know somebody. So
but you know, Married at First Sight, and this is the last thing we'll say about this, Lord. Married at First Sight came to DC. And they did a whole show out here, but I didn't know none of the people on there. But I did see the woman once after I watched that season. I definitely saw her somewhere, but that show was out here too.
Yeah, Married at First Sight, the DC one, I actually knew one of the girls. She worked at my previous job. But yeah, I was like, I can go down that whole thing with Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
So.
Another show I don't watch. Oh. Okay, so thank you for that lively conversation on Black people in relationships. We need that. All right, Shoa, are you a Destiny's Child fan at all?
Yes.
Okay. I know you are, Joy. Have y'all seen that Matthew Knowles penned like an open letter an apology letter to the Destiny's, I wouldn't say children, but to DC3. So Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle. Okay. Yeah, he penned this whole long letter. It's on his Instagram. But I'm like, okay, that was sweet. That was nice. But like, if you want to do it for all the ladies of Destiny's Child, you know, it's like, I don't understand why he he didn't. But I mean, I think it was a nice gesture for the women. But I also feel like he's just trying to get them to go on a tour again. And
But do y'all see that happening?
I do. I want it to happen. Do I see it happening? I don't know. But I really would like it to happen.
I just had a conversation the other day, and the only reason I don't think so is because they've worked so hard to have their own individual identities right now. And if you really, prime example, Kelly goes on TV trying to promote something for herself, and everybody's asking her about Beyonce,
and she be annoyed, rightfully so.
Like it's annoying because I'm my own person. So Michelle, same situation. We just saw her in the commercial where it was like, I'm the one that's forgotten about in Destiny's Child. Imagine how much they had to grow out of being in a shadow. So now they're really in these positions where they can do things on their own. And I think the only one we were going to get was Homecoming, when they came out for that, because they have worked so hard, and I just don't see them going back to let's do one final tour. I mean, if they shock us.
But the question too is like, do you feel like girls groups come back together to do that one final tour to make a check or to get back within their career? So maybe they're also all kind of like stable or like peaked within their careers where like that's not something that they need to do.
They don't need it. Yeah, that's true. And Beyonce out here trying to create new legacies after legacies. I mean, like, girl,
we got 10 days before her new album drop.
Beyonce stresses me out because when I heard that her 2 songs are country songs, I'm like, I'm not even going to engage. And now songs are stuck in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh.
This ain't
same thing with Renaissance. Initially, I was like, I heard some bangers, and then I was just like, but like, what? Like Lemonade Beyonce? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And now I love Renaissance. I done went to the tour. I done got dragged in, so I'm scared of her.
Yeah, I am too. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to no country concert. So
I'm not.
I'm really not. Like, I don't want to give Beyonce no more money. I love her, but it's like, girl, unless it's Destiny's Child reunion, I'm not doing it.
She may have to pull them out during one of her concerts. I feel like, imagine that if that's how she closes out, like her part 3 that she has, that's the tour, and or her act 3, she ends up bringing them out, and that's the closest to a reunion. I can see her do, because she is her team development marketing geniuses. Okay, like they kill it every single time, and it's the way that they think 5 years in advance of everything.
Yeah, she got a mean camp. I'm like, whoever worked with her, God bless them. They are very, very talented.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Go ahead, Beyonce, Google. All right, ladies. Well, our time is winding down. We close out every show with Everyone Deserves, which is like just an encouraging nugget to give people based off of the conversation that we had here tonight. So if you had to complete this sentence, what would you say? Everyone deserves what?
I was like, Lauren, you want to go first?
No. I would say everyone deserves to have their own healing experience in their own healing space. That's 9.
I would say everyone deserves grace. I think that grace is such a powerful tool for self and for others. And once you're able to give it to yourself, it's second nature for others. So I think that if we had a little more grace in this world, we'll be a little healthier and less harsh. So grace is what everyone deserves in my book.
Yeah. For me, I would say that everyone deserves like to have daily affirmations around them. If it's from different things that they're wearing, to different things that they're hearing, to different things that they're seeing, or singing, like whatever it may be. We deserve to have daily affirmations because we need to pick ourselves up sometimes. Like I know for me, like this ring that I wear says I am enough. And it had it all on sticky notes. And then I was like, I'm going on Etsy and I'm getting a ring so I could wear every single day. And then even like my necklace, like everything is very purposeful because this one says I can do all things through Christ. And it's just, I feel weird not wearing it. Like now it's
subtle reminders.
Like I feel like I'm putting on my armor, when I'm like putting this on and it's making me feel really good. And I feel off when it's not. So
Mhm.
having the motivation and affirmations really does, it gives you a boost of energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say that I think that intentional jewelry as you're on your healing journey is a powerful tool to
Mhm.
have. And those like reminders consistently around you and on your body are really, really critical. So I agree for sure.
Yes.
I was like, Lauren, do we see something coming for love?
Right.
Listen, the wheels are turning, okay?
And we end up getting some
Hardware, something.
Mhm.
Nice.
some earrings, like, you know.
Something.
Yeah, this is great.
Mhm.
Well, ladies, I've enjoyed this conversation, taking up space with you all tonight. Sure, we're going to have you on again.
Yes, thank you.
When you have time.
Yes. Yes. I would love to join again. I love talking, as y'all can see. So I'm
Well, tell
always
the
there.
people on our replay where they can find you, your next event, and how to stay in contact.
Yes, so you all can find me on Instagram at ITAV Collab, or you can find me on Facebook. It Takes a Village Collaborative, or our website, itavcollab.org. There is all the information there. And we have 2 events coming up this spring. Super excited. We have Spring Tune-Up / March Madness for the Men happening Friday at Carolina Kitchen. It'll be super chill, good vibes, good energy, and just a meeting of the minds, honestly, an opportunity for Black men to check in on their wellness, happening this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. at Carolina Kitchen and High School. And then for our ladies, we have our first Queen Bee Talks in person this year, Spring into Wellness. We will have healing and movement specialist Shade, who will be leading a yoga session, and we'll be hosting an intentional conversation and chat and chew. So join us April 6th at Brooklyn Press in DC, right across from Rhode Island Station. So that will be from 2 to 4 p.m. So yes, I hope to see some of y'all, and follow us at ITAB Collab.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Yes. I'm trying to make you said April 6th though?
Yeah.
Yes, April 6th. Come out
I
2
hear
to 4.
Okay.
That's Friday or Saturday? I was
Saturday.
like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Bring a friend, tell a friend. Come on out.
We love it.
All right. Well, thank y'all. Until next time, we'll see y'all. Joy, you the calendar girl.
All right. From
That's cute.
Sunday. Or no, actually from
We're gonna
Sunday.
do the
31st.
We're gonna do the 7th.
Oh,
That's Easter.
Oh, you are correct. That is
Yep.
that is Easter Sunday. We will be praising the Lord.
we will not be taking up space on that day. But on the 7th, we will be back. So we'll see y'all.
April
then.
7th. So yes, April 7th, we will be back.
Yes. All right. Again, thanks, Shoa.
Thank y'all for having me. Nice meeting you, Joy.
Nice meeting you too.
All right.
I know we need to connect